Welcome back. Let's continue here now. The DA has condemned the suspected murder attempt on outgoing Eskom CEO de Ruyter at the Power Utilities Megawatt Park office. Police are investigating after Eskom confirmed that a poisoning incident occurred last month when de Ruyter drank coffee suspected to be laced with cyanide. De Ruyter resigned in early December, citing political pressure amid ongoing rolling blackouts and allegations of sabotage at the power utility. His last day in office will be at the end of March. Now let's discuss this. We are now joined via Zoom by Ghaleb Cachalia, DA Shadow Minister of Public Enterprises. Mr. Cachalia, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. What do you make of this attack and what do you think the motive was? Of course, we're talking about the alleged poisoning of de Ruyter.
Well, the background is that we have within the utility a number of people who are averse to the cleaning up of corruption, which Mr. de Ruyter and his executive team pursued. Now, and then on top of that, we have the whole situation fueled by Ghaleb Cacha's inopportune, to say the least, remarks that Mr. Cachalia was fueling state terrorism. Now, if you take these together, you have a situation of a large number of disgruntled people who will have no particular position apart from the ability to break things and then to try and fix them and to profit from it. And when that is questioned or tried to be cleaned up by the executive, you have this particular situation. It is not a healthy one. It is across the board. It is, and I'm not even beginning to touch on the mafias which exist within the utility, the coal mafia, the cable mafia. I mean, yeah, you know, this goes on. It is completely and utterly untenable.
I mean, you know, just some of your utterances as it relates to Mr. Ghaleb Cachalia. We know that, of course, de Ruyter, you know, just days after his resignation, he did indicate that in his position as CEO of Eskom, it became very untenable after the Mineral Resources and Energy Minister, you know, publicly accused him and the management of Eskom of agitating for the overthrow of the state. Is that why, as the DA, you are now saying that we are beginning to see a real attack on democracy? Please explain.
Well, yes. I mean, you have the Minister of Energy overstepping his mark, wading into the other minister, who's ostensibly his colleague, Pravin Gordhan, lane, as it were, and then making these unfounded and ridiculous remarks. In line with that, you have Pravin Gordhan's relative silence on the matter. Now, this then leads to the other question, if you connect the dots, as Pravin Gordhan is fond of saying. If you connect the dots, what is the deal being done that keeps Mr. Ramaphosa in power, that keeps Mr. Ghaleb Cachalia and Mr. Pravin Gordhan on the same cabinet and ostensibly at different ends of the pole? And what is the deal that was done? How is this going to be managed? And this reflects an attempt at unity within the party, that is the ANC, without any particular regard for what's going on in the most important utility in the country that's supposed to keep the lights on, business shining, and people fed and looked after.
Now, you've called, you know, for the president to address the nation regarding this matter. What exactly would you like the president to say? And in particular, with references to Minister Cachalia, with references to Pravin Gordhan, as you've said, you know, basically talking about just the sheer incompetence as it relates to what we've been seeing at Eskom.
Well, he's not going to particularly make any mention of those tensions within his party. But what he needs to do is to tell the nation what is going on in Eskom. How is he, and as the sole shareholder that government is of this utility, how is it going to fix what is broken. How is it going to do it? When is it going to do it by? With what is it going to do it with? And where is it going to find the money to do it? Because everything at this scale needs large pots of money. This needs to be explained to a very expectant nation who, frankly, needs to be taken into the confidence and government needs to take them into confidence.
What do you make of, just these attacks on Andre de Ruyter, particularly if you look at even the first one where his car was tampered with, and here we are again talking about various sources, various people that he's, consulted with privately. What do we make then of these attacks on him, but also the criminality that we are now starting to hear of, particularly in plants that are based in Mpumalanga as it relates to the utility? What do you make of it? And also, what should law enforcement authorities be doing? I mean, at some point now, we should surely be seeing some form of arrests.
Well, law enforcement is there to follow up on charges that are made and to hopefully investigate circumstances that can lead to charges. They've been extremely tardy in this regard. Now we've got the SANDF protecting these units, but what are they protecting? They can protect people coming into it, but they can't protect people inside flicking switches which they should not be flicking, which cause remarkable and considerable damage. So I'm not sure what can be done at that level. We have called for the National Key Points Act and the National Security Act to be called into operation to underpin a state of disaster that we have called for. It's fallen on deaf ears. We've said this must be independently managed. It will never be independently managed because the government wants to control. Mr. Gordon, as I call him, is the Minister of Command and Control. There's no way that they're going to let anybody into this particular rot that's going on. It's an unholy mess. But as the chief executive in the government, our president, Mr. Ramaphosa, must be held to account. He must be held to account, as is our job, by the opposition in parliament. He has to be held to account, which is your job, by the media, and he has to be held to account by ordinary citizens who are suffering as a result of this complete and utter policy mismanagement that goes back years.
Mr. Cachalia, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. DA Shadow Minister of Public Enterprises, Ghaleb Cachalia.